Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast. Anchor gives you everything you need in one place for free, which you can use right from your phone or computer. Creation tools allow you to record and edit your podcast so it sounds great. They'll distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard everywhere: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and many more. You can easily make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started today. I'm Michael Chabot, and I'm here to tell you that there will always be challenges in life, and in some cases, like mine, tragedies. But human beings are resilient. All you need to do is make a decision today. Follow me on this journey to hope, and together we will live, we will learn, and we will grow. And hopefully, we will find some hope in every day. Welcome to my journey to hope. So this episode started out as Mindset/Heartset, and I'll explain that in a few minutes, but here's what I want to say. I was talking to my friend today, and we were talking about the podcast, and I said, in the next episode, I want to talk about mindset. Everybody's talking about mindset and how important it is, and a gentleman that I follow talks about heartset, and it's a word that he made up, but it really falls in line with mindset, and it makes a lot of sense. And again, I'll explain that here in a few minutes, but I said to her, but part of me feels like the next episode should be my bump in the road on my journey to hope. And the reason I say that is because, as you know, in the last episode, I hurt my back in the gym, and thankfully I'm feeling better and back in the gym, but I went for a walk for a few days, and walking was really good for me. It was really healing. But, I've been having a really tough time over the last few days, and it's because our family is taking our first vacation, our first true vacation without Gabriella. It's really been hard on me. It's really made me emotional. I've been feeling guilty that, we're taking a vacation and that she's not with us. And I've been going through those emotions and dealing with it. And what I want everybody listening to hear is that I'm just like you. Yes, I'm on a journey, and yes, I'm finding hope, and yes, I'm moving forward, but I'm a human being. And sometimes you take 2 steps forward and 1 step back, and that's okay. You need to embrace it. I haven't beaten myself up. I've been going through the emotions. Because what happens for me is that when I start thinking about the trip and I start thinking about our vacation, I start thinking about my daughter being missing from, the 5 of us. And even when I was looking at airline tickets, I first started looking at 5. And that's hard. And I know my wife is having the same challenge. We've talked about it over the last few days. And, we both know that we need to do this for our family. And we both know that this is what our daughter would want us to do. But it's difficult. It's really, really hard. And then for me, it's a reminder. My daughter's gone. My daughter died. I never get to see her again. But I know that in the same breath that my daughter would want me to go, she would want me to take my family. She would want to see us all smiling and happy and having a good time. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go and we're going to do our best, and we're going to have a good time and try and honor her in that way. And I just want you guys to see and hear that on your own journey, whatever it might be, not every day is going to be perfect. Not every day is going to be rosy. You are going to have setbacks, but if you stay determined and you stay focused on what you are trying to do, you'll move through it. So now let's transition into mindset. Mindset is what everybody's talking about. It's the buzzword in all the circles of psychology and self-help and life coaches. Mindset is awesome. One of the best books that I've read is called Mindset by Carolyn Dweck. She talks about 2 types of mindsets. the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. And, for me, it was really eye-opening because what I realized is the majority of everything I've done has been fixed mindset. And I'll give you guys a couple examples of fixed and growth mindset. And basically it's, fixed mindset is that, you're born with talent. You either have it or you don't. There's no changing it. Growth mindset is like, hey, I can come into this, and if I work hard enough, I can learn to be good enough or great. She uses a great example. She talks about Michael Jordan, cut from his high school basketball team. His mother gave him some great advice. If you want to get great, you got to work hard. You got to outwork everybody else, and that's exactly what he did. He didn't get accepted to the college of his choice, but he went on to set records and probably is considered, the best or one of the best NBA players of all time. And then she talks about on the flip side, a guy like John McEnroe. And for those of you that are a little younger listening to this, he's a tennis professional who was on the top of the world in the 80s in his profession. And it's interesting because she talks about him and says, he never liked to practice. He would just show up and play. In doing that, he always blamed everybody but himself if he didn't succeed. His motto was this: why rehearse for the play if you can show up and act? So she talked about like he had all these excuses. He lost one match because the umpire took off his headset and it was making a noise that distracted him. Another one was that he didn't eat the right, pre-tennis meal, his pre-match meal. He had a million excuses, and that's fixed mindset, people. Your mind is fixed. And I realized that that's how I've been almost my whole life. It was pretty eye-opening to hear it and say, yep. Growth mindset is completely different. A lot of people who are fixed mindset, if the challenge is too hard or they have the opportunity or the chance that they can not succeed, a lot of them will make excuses and not try. I won't try. She talked about a test that they did. I think it was in Hong Kong where students, Chinese students had to sign up for classes in college and they had to learn English. And the growth mindset students loved it. They thought, oh, this is awesome. Great. I love the challenge. I want to try and learn. The ones that were fixed mindset, who didn't want to fail, didn't want to do it. So mindset is important. You've got to work on your mind. You've got to get your mind in the right place. You've got to be open to failing. You've got to be open to challenging yourself. You've got to be open to doing the work. Mindset is so many things. It's setting your mind right when you make a decision. It's making an agreement with yourself, right? That has to do with mindset. Mindset is important. It's very, very important. I want to talk to you about Heartset. And again, that's not my term. I didn't coin it. Robin Sharma, who is an amazing, he's a coach, a life coach, inspirational guy. He's phenomenal. He wrote a great book called The 5 a.m. Club. It has to do with early mornings. I've talked about him in the past, but he talks about Heartset, and he says that, listen, mindset is great, but without doing the work internally, without doing the Heartset work, mindset is basically bullshit. And I agree with him because I think on the beginning of this journey, I was all about mindset, but I was swallowing my pain. And that's what he talks about is, look, you could do all the mindset work you want to, but if you continue to swallow pain and you don't do the real work, the work that really makes you reveal your inner pain to yourself and journal about it and meditate on it, maybe go to therapy and talk about it, whatever it takes. Maybe it's this work that I'm doing here, but this is what Heartset's all about. It's dealing with old pains. Maybe you have childhood things that are in your childhood that you've been swallowing for 20, 30, 40 years. You got to deal with them. That's Heartset. And I wasn't planning on talking about it, but he also talks about Healthset, which makes a lot of sense. He's like, look, if you get your mindset right and you do all the work with Heartset, but you're not healthy and you're poisoning your body, you're not going to live long enough to make a difference in anybody's life. And listen, I know I grew up a junk food eater. I ate all the junk there ever was. Doritos, Ding Dongs, Suzy Q's, you name it. I loved it. Grew up drinking soda. We drank a lot of soda. My mom's going to kill me for telling you this, but she even used to put soda in my bottle sometimes. I mean, that's just the way we grew up, right? Any of us that were born in the 60s or 70s, that's just the way it was. Our parents smoked, most of them, in the house, in the car. We ate crappy food, but, we had fun. But now I've changed my complete eating habits. You guys have heard me talk in previous episodes about my gluten issue, or my gluten intolerance, I guess you should call it. So when that happened to me, I got very sick and I changed the way I eat completely. I was never into organic food. And then as I started to study everything, I realized all the poisons that we're ingesting. And I started to eat as much organic food as I possibly can. I even look at, where the chicken that I eat is raised, where the beef is raised, how it's fed. Is it grass fed? Because that grain stuff is not good for us, guys. But it's very interesting, when I changed my diet, a lot changed in my life. And you have a lot more energy when you're feeding the engine with healthy food. And at first it's hard. You miss all the crap, because our bodies are so addicted to sugar. But I will tell you that I'm 3 years, probably a little more than 3 years into this lifestyle. And, I weigh the least I've had since probably when I was in college. Like, I'm in the best shape of my life. I'm trim. And I don't say that to brag or boast. I just say, I'm in good shape and it feels good and I have energy and it makes a difference. And I guess I should have pre-framed this by saying, Robin Sharma calls these things the 4 interior empires. And it's mindset, heart set, health set, and soul set. And soul set is some of the work that we talked about. And, in my last episode with Are You There, God? It's me, Michael. And that has to do with your spirituality. It has to do with being a heart leader and leading with your heart and doing the right things. It has to do with being a spark for those people in your life, those strangers you meet. But Heartset really made me stop and think, right? Because I was so just enthralled with the whole mindset issue. Or not issue, but technique, I guess would be the right word. Excuse me. And what I realized, especially after hurting myself in the gym, is that I was really focused on mindset, and which is great. But if you don't do the heart set work, all the mindset work just is it's almost all for naught, because it's just a Band-Aid over the top of your true pain. And the reality is we all have pain that we all need to face. And it doesn't make you weak to face the pain. It makes you strong. You're a strong, brave person to do the work, because it's not easy. It's hard work. It's hard work. And I know for me, if I truly want to continue down this path of my journey to hope and to find some hope at the end of this road, that I need to do the work. I need to continue to look the man in the mirror and get in touch with my feelings and work through the pain of losing my daughter. Work through the pain. Work through the reality. The hardest thing about death, and I talked about this in the last episode, is its finality, right? It's final. There's nothing you can do to change it. And when I reflect on it, the thing that freaking just kills me is that it's not for me. It's not my loss. It's my daughter's loss. All the lost opportunities, all the things in life that she doesn't get to experience. That's really what gets me. That's what hurts me the most. I know deep down she will always be with me. She's always with me. And that's why I told my wife, I said, she's with us. She's in our heart. Always. She will always be with us. And that's good for me. But I think the work that I need to do is coming to terms with all the things that my daughter doesn't get to do. That's the pain. That's the knife in the chest. That's the knife in the heart. I was thinking the other day, if you took an x-ray of my heart, you would see a piece of it missing. It wouldn't be a complete heart, because without my Gabriella, it will never be complete again. But what I do know is that with this incomplete heart, that I'm going to get up every day and I'm going to breathe. I'm going to do my morning routine. I'm going to get up and go to the gym and journal and meditate and take a cold shower and make my bed. And then I'm going to do everything I can in each and every day that the Lord blesses me with to honor my daughter, to honor my family, to be a spark, to honor my God, and to try and make a difference in the world. I think that's what each and every one of us needs to do, is really think each day, like, how can I be the best version of myself? How can I make a difference today? Even if it's one person, what can I do to brighten someone else's day? And I think, we all know this to be true. It's great to get gifts, but isn't it so much better to give gifts to somebody, especially those ones that somebody really wants? And when you give that gift to them and you see them open it, it feels better than getting a gift. Like sometimes, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes like it's almost uncomfortable to get a gift, right? Because you feel like, wow, this is like, I don't know, maybe it's just me. Sometimes I feel undeserving of the gift. So I'm like, wow. But giving a gift to somebody is so special. And it just feels good to make them happy. So it just goes along with everything. So, this is probably the shortest of the episodes that I've done. But I just want you to take this with you as I wind this one down. There will always be bumps in the road, no matter what it is you're doing. No matter if you don't have a tragedy, maybe it's just a challenge. There's always going to be bumps. There's always going to be setbacks, right? But you got to keep focused on your mission. You got to stay strong. You can control your mind. I talked about it last time. I'm about halfway through the book, Can't Hurt Me Now, with David Goggins. You have to read it. It's a must read. He proves to you how powerful the mind is, how you can overcome the greatest challenges in life. I mean, the things that this man has accomplished and overcome is absolutely astonishing, and it gives me hope. It gives me hope to know that I can continue to push forward. And yes, I will have dark days. And yes, it will be difficult. And yes, my heart will always bleed for my beautiful baby girl, my Gabriella. But I know that this work that I am doing will continue to let her have some kind of a life, some kind of a voice to leave her mark in the world. So remember, it starts with mindset. Mindset's important. You got to get your mind right. Read the book, Mindset by Carolyn Dweck. She lays it all out. I have a feeling that a lot of you will find that you have a lot of those fixed mindset traits, and I'd love to hear from you either on Facebook or on my website, myjourneytohope.com. I would love to hear from you guys and see what you think after you read the book, Mindset by Carolyn Dweck. I'd like to see how many of you think you have growth mindset traits, which after reading it, my opinion is that's where you want to be, or if you have fixed mindset traits. Then work on your heart set. That's the one that takes the most courage. That's the one that takes you to go deep. You got to go deep to do that work. And it's scary. Let me tell you, I was scared shitless to record the very first episode, The Tragedy. The day that I came into my daughter's room and sat on the bed where I sit now, I was trembling with fear. Not because I was afraid to tell my story, because I knew that I had to open my heart and revisit that day that I have locked away. But since I started this podcast, I've been able to open my heart and keep it open. And these episodes have helped me more than they'll ever help you. I've received some amazing feedback. I mean, just today, I was taking my trash down, and one of my neighbors, I live in a nice neighborhood, but, my neighbor, I've maybe talked to her 5 times in 8 years just because, everybody today parks their car in the garage after work and goes in the house. We don't really see each other anymore. And as I was taking my trash down to the curb, she pulled up and rolled down her window, and she said, "I want to let you know that I've been listening to your podcast." And I want to let you know that I think what you're doing is amazing and that you're going to help so many people with this. And it makes me happy to hear that you guys are being, finding a way to move forward. I was in awe. I was speechless. I didn't know what to say because I have no idea how she found the podcast. And then the fact that she's been listening to it and the feedback she gave me. And I came inside and I told my wife and I got emotional. I started crying, and not because of any other reason, but because the whole reason I started this was so that my daughter could still have a voice, so that the world would know my Peanut. And the fact that it's happening is beyond amazing. It's just amazing. I got another comment from a friend today on Facebook that I knew from high school, and we lost touch, and come to find out that she lost a child, and she's been so supportive. She sent me so many amazing things, and she sent me feedback today. Again, that was just beyond humbling. And, if I can help one person with what I'm doing here, then it's all a success. It's all a success. So I want to go back to it. Heartset. Heartset is so important because it makes you face your pain. It makes you open your heart. And I think when you do it with yourself, like I've noticed with my wife, I'm much more loving. I'm much more open because I'm opening my heart to the world. I'm showing my vulnerability. That's what Heartset really is. So I want to wrap this up by saying thank you. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for helping me. Thank you for allowing me to give my daughter a voice. Thank you for allowing me to let my daughter continue to have a life. Thank you for listening. And do the work. Do the work that needs to be done. And thank you for walking with me on this journey. My journey to hope. And to my sweet baby girl, Gabriella, Poppy loves you so, so much.